Good morning, guys. It is Saturday, February the 7th, and we're just going to do our recaps for it was Friday and Thursday's trades that we took. If I'm correct, just give me a second here. Yeah, I don't think we did did I do a recap for Thursday? Now that I'm looking, did I post that trade? Give me a second, guys. Now I'm a little confused right now. We're going to start with Wednesday. Okay, got it. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so this is going to be the recap for the, well, let's actually go with the whole week, to be honest. I think we did a recap on, for Monday's trade, if I can recall here. Let's see, videos. Okay, so okay, yeah, we're good. Okay, let's just go through the whole week. Just break it down here. Sorry, guys, I went quiet there for a sec, just making sure everything was okay. So, going on from Monday, which was right here, wine was definitely in a consolidation. You can definitely see the range that it was playing in right here. Notice how you can see how the the body candles were respecting the CE of this range here. I mean the equilibrium, sorry. And then you can clearly see how we were disrespecting it as we were below it, coming back into this low. Well, somewhat. We actually left the failure swing here. And then we now finally came back to attack all-time high here. This was my overall idea for this week. Monday we had a good trade, which I think it was taken on YM as well, from what I can recall. Yeah, it was a YM trade. So all of my trades this week were with YM because I wanted to see all-time high hit since it was the strength leader within the three assets. So that was my overall idea here. If we look at the weekly time frame, I think there was a, well, this week is different, but anything, no, nothing really. But what we can anticipate is that since YM has been bullish and the way that we've been respecting this down close candle, I was anticipating us to continue going higher, taking out all these failure swings that were created on the weekly time frame. This is on the weekly also, so you can clearly see this order block has been respected three consecutive weeks, and then you can see us starting to expand higher out of that. NQ and ES were the weakest. NQ specifically, as it wanted to come much lower within its range here, taking out liquidity before reversing. So let's start off with Monday here, which was we're on the weekly, so we're just a little bit of ahead. If we just replay it, Monday right there. Let me just take this down. Why is this all the way up here now? Okay. So starting off Monday, I'm just gonna skip it forward. We can actually see how everything, all the triad took out that previous day's low, right? We were at a relevant low as well. So sometimes at the end of the day, guys, it's just structure first, right? So once you see a relevant low being taken out, you anticipate us to continue going higher from there if it's willing to respect it and reverse, right? That's the key word, reverse. You really want to see price reverse. So you can see how we had that relevant low being taken out right here. I'm just going to do this on YM because I was looking at YM at this time. But you can see us taking out previous day's low here. and then going on the 4-hour here, you can see how price came into previous day's low, and we did a full V-shape reversal on that at that relevant low here. So what I was looking at was, okay, so since we were able to take out liquidity, right, the next thing is, like I said, we wanted to see a reversal out of that, right, for us to anticipate price to continue going higher. And I'm just going to go on YM here so we can look at it bigger. So first of all, we took out the low, right, at 10 p.m. during Asia. We have this inefficiency here as well, right? This is on the 4-hour as well, just to let everyone know. So the 2 a.m. candle was able to, so this was not a proper C2. So what you do is you wait for the next candle to confirm that change in the state of delivery on that previous 4-hour candle. We were able to get that, but including able to close above the inversion here on the 4-hour time frame. So seeing that confirmation on the 2 a.m. Candle, I was anticipating 6 a.m.'s 4-hour candle to create its open low high close. Since this is now confirmed as the C3, I'm anticipating a C4 back to these areas of interest right here, the relevant highs specifically right here. This is just I think this is previous day's high, I think, from what I recall. Let's just go here. So yeah, this was previous day's high here. So that was the draw for this specific day here, was previous day's high right here. So now going on to the hourly. Hourly, you can see how we were able to expand, V-shaped reversal, changing the state of delivery, and then we started to fail these inefficiencies on the bearish side, right? We were able to close above the 4-hour here, the 4-hour inversion. This was the 6 a.m. candle right here. Right, this was 6, 7, 8, right? Let's go on the 30-minute because I liked it better here. So notice on the 30-minute we were able to respect these down close candles forming this accumulation. We were able to close it back up and then just continue going higher here, right? So 9:30 we were able to anticipate with that a swing point was formed right after this V-shaped reversal, right? So it was a London reversal, New York continuation, right? So with the continuation, you want to see some type of liquidity being taken, especially at a swing point or in inefficiency. You can clearly see that we were able to attack this swing point right here, forming an SMT from what I recall. Let's go right here. Yeah, let's see right here. Yeah, you can see the strength switch. YM was able to take out the low, while ES and NQ didn't. You can also see there's a PSP right here within this 30-minute candle. So with that PSP closure and the SMT to confirm it, that's your two-stage reversal right here, right? So the first one was the PSP forming, and then you have that change in the state of delivery right here. Let's see if it was actually one right here with the reversal. I think it was with NQ. Let's see. So no, there was all bearish, but this would have been considered it right there. And then you have that change in state of delivery. Once we started expanding here, honestly on the 3-minute, it was not worth taking this entry within this specific candle. And why I say that is look at the large wick here. Your stop loss would have to be put here, unless you want to go aggressive and keep it at the body close. But again, that could just fill 50% of it, so you're risking a lot for nothing. And why I say nothing is because previous day's high was not far for YM. So what I did was I patiently waited for the 10 a.m. candle, the new 1 hour and the new 4 hour, right? So this would have been the new hourly candle right here, 10 a.m. and then the new 4 hour candle, right? So once we get to a specific area of interest, like a key level, previous day's high, you got to ask yourselves, what are the two things that price is willing to do? Because we're now considering a possible new phase of price, right? Either a accumulation to continue going higher, so a fail to manipulate, or we're going to manipulate and reverse and form an SMT here, because clearly YM was a strength leader, and we're currently with an SMT at this current high here. So those were the two things that you would want to ask yourself and watch to see how price reacts at this specific key level. going on the so going back to here, you could see the closure above this high on the 4-hour and including the hourly, right? So now let's get onto the smaller time frames here, specifically the 3-minute. So seeing how this played out, you can see how 10 a.m. was right here. This candle right here. So notice how we were opening low, and then we started expanding higher. See, with this, you start to feel confident with these type of moves because you start to see these type of things. Where's the drawing thing? Right here, yeah. You want to start seeing this aggressiveness, this V shape, right? Once you start seeing that V shape, and then we start closing above these inversions, you can then anticipate us to continue going higher back to this draw right here, right? Which was the relevant high that we were talking about early, right? So a lot of confluences right here. You had that nice inversion being taken. We had that nice change in the state of delivery, which closed for the 5-minute candle. Let's just look at it. So I actually took this trade right here. So my target was right here, and I had to have my draw for like a fixed 2R. So it was just about right here, right? Basically just below the 50% of this consecutive series of down close candles. If you can see on the 5-minute as well, we had that nice closure on this specific candle, the 10:05 candle, changing the state of delivery. Even if we wanted to move it just not that one, but the blue line right here, I'm going to move it right there. That's your change in the state of delivery, and then you can start to anticipate us to continue going higher back to that relevant high here. So very clean move for Monday. It was a very good trade, and again, risk was very manageable. Like I said, I wanted to hit that relevant high. As you can see, we went a little higher, and I think we retraced after, but that is the draw, right? And that's all you should be looking for a specific session. Once that's taken out, you can either leave a run for it to continue going higher, but overall, majority of your trades should be secured at this point because this is a relevant high, which is a key area, and you just don't want to be losing profits because it could clearly expand, aka a reversal out of this, since YM was the first one to take this relevant low high here. So overall, that was the Monday trade, guys. Very easy, very mechanical. Like I said, we did not want to take this 9:30 open trade. So what did we do? We waited to see what price was going to do at this specific high here. Once we got that continuation phase signature, that entry confirmation, as I mentioned earlier, and then that continuation higher. Okay. So now going on to the next day, clearly you want to see us to continue going higher. We have a nice C2 closure, candle closed above the daily candle, and then continuing going higher. I did not trade Tuesday. Nothing was given on Tuesday at all. I'm not really too sure. I forgot what it was. I think it was just consolidating because we had some news this week as well, right? I think Wednesday was ADP. Well, actually, look, yeah, I took no trade and we had no news on that day as well. So there's got to be a reason for it. Let's just continue going forward here to see what's up. Yeah, there was no trade taken here. I'm not too sure why. Let me just see how the other... Yeah, there's no trade taken on Tuesday, so I'm not really too sure. I guess it was just nothing confirming my entry here. I think it was just because the move already happened here. I think it was where is it? Yeah, I was looking for buys here, but then it continued going higher here. We had this type of reversal here where I was looking at trying to buy here, but that didn't happen, and then we just continued going lower here. Yeah, not really the best thing. If you want, we can break it down, but I'm not really trying to waste that much time. I was just again, the closure was good. I wanted an open low high close on YM here, but you can see how we started to, where was it, right here? Yeah, we started to consolidate here, and then YM formed a nice SMT at the high here for us to continue going lower. You can, I guess it makes sense since we hit a relevant high. Now it's clearly going to retrace back into a discount within the dealing range right here. Personally, I was not looking at that, but there's days like this that do tend to happen, especially with a nice expansion day like YM did. So expect these type of moves, and this is why structure always matters. Clearly, I was looking at the buy side, and I was using this in 4-hour fair value gap that was right here to confirm that, or worst case scenario, the one in the discount that was right here, right? Afternoon was the better session to trade. Clearly, I think there was an entry at that point if we break it down. Yeah, there was an SMT right here. So if we get that first reversal signature right here, I don't think there was an SMT with the 2 p.m. open though. Yeah, they all took it out. Each candle took out that current candle, the previous candle. We go to the hourly, same concept here. But what you can see is the V-shaped reversal, right, guys? If you wanted to wait for this C2 and then anticipate a C3 to continue going higher. Most likely, if you want, worst case scenario, just because you're not anticipating it to fully go above there, but you can trade definitely into this area of interest here because it's just at the equilibrium of this range here, right? So if you're anticipating an expansion with an expansion, which sometimes it's not a full-on reversal, right? It could just be a retracement into back to premium, guys. So you can still trade the ERL to IRL again, right? For that retracement phase, and then from there we can anticipate what it's going to do. If it starts to fail this, then you can anticipate us to continue going higher, right? But yeah, with the C3 right here, you have this nice. This would be considered a C3, sorry, because we don't have that C2 closure. So you wait for the next current candle. You have that nice change in the state of delivery here, and then 230 you want to anticipate that move higher, right? Whereas 230 right here, this was I was at work, so there was nothing for me to take. This was 230 right here. Sorry, the 230 was this current candle right here. So you notice how we came in, respected the order block, and then we started to continue going higher. The higher time for this is the 30-minute right here, this line here, and then we started expanding higher, forming a nice change in state of delivery, and then you can either take your entry right there and market open, keeping it at the low, and then either back to here, or if you want just to get a fixed 2R, you could just drag it up to right here. So not too bad. Clearly I was at work at this, but it makes sense, you know. Let's see if there was like an SMT here. There was a minor one right here, as you can see. Look, with this right here, with YM. So seeing that, you can anticipate it to go higher from there, right? But let's just continue going forward. So this day, on Wednesday, was a little tilting for me, just because I was still looking for buys. Clearly, as you can see, we had a nice good closure here, and this was just screaming to be attacked. You know what I mean? It was just such a clear draw with all these failure swings, guys. It just made sense for us to attack it, right? So that's exactly what I was anticipating here: an open, low, high close. So let's go into the 4-hour here. Let's just skip it. This is 6. Oh, sorry. So 6 o'clock. Oh, we actually missed Wednesday. That was the Wednesday candle. Sorry, we were looking at the Wednesday candle on the daily candle, daily time frame. Yeah. So this is the candle right here. Okay. So it was a down close candle, yes, but since we were able to close back above this down close candle here, it's we want to see how we respect this here, right? It depends on the daily profile. Once you go in the 4-hour, if we do an open, low, high, close type of idea, which technically we did within the last candle. So now if we're going to fully reverse, which this 2 p.m. candle from the previous day's candle closed back above, this could give us a good sign that we were able to at least come back to the ERL which is right here. And then hopefully back to the relevant high here. So you have 2 a.m. So this is 6, 10, 2, right? So looking at this, it's not really the best signature. Clearly we have failure swings to the downside, but what we see is that we have this SMT right here on YM and with ES. And we have a PSP to confirm that. So this is a two-stage reversal right here, signature. This is what confirms this reversal here, guys. Technically the low of day, if you want to say it. So now seeing this, you want to see us starting to reverse out of this, right? You want to start seeing expansion candles. So 6, 7, right? Then we have 8. So you want to start seeing us respect these down close candles. If once they start failing, then it's not really the best idea. Let's look at Wednesday. What we had on Wednesday, we had 8:15, and then we had news at 10 a.m. So seeing this, we would either respect the low here, the order block, or we're coming back to this relevant low right here. That's all I see for an objective. Let's just continue going forward. Okay, so yeah, this was 9 o'clock right here, right? Because clearly we didn't really get anything on the 30-minute here, right? As we were just going lower, there was no confirmations that YM was willing to expand off this reversal signature. So what do? We just wait for a new relevant low to be taken, which I was mentioning right here. Well, actually, technically, it did work. Now that I'm looking at it right now, if we look back into this, this is 9 o'clock right here. So we had the 2 o'clock. So this was the 2 o'clock candle right here, right? So now we're anticipating the 6 a.m. to do an open, low, high, close. So where is 6 a.m. here? 6 a.m. is right here. Sorry, I was just going a little too ahead of there myself. So notice how this is the relevant swing right here. So notice how we came back for another SMT. I think there was an SMT here with this. Let's see. No, it wasn't really an SMT, but well, currently it was, but it would have been a little difficult for you to take this trade at the open. Again, it would have worked if you saw this closure here, which I don't think there was another PSP confirmed with this. No, there was not. But we had another SMT here with this open, with this up close candle confirming that change in the state of delivery. And then you could have taken the high, but you can clearly see that that failed right there. But I was still looking for the buys as mentioned, because clearly this doesn't show any signature to reverse, while while ES and Q are going back to its previous day's low. So that's another current SMT that we currently have at that moment right there. Going on to the next 30-minute candle, we actually waited for the 4-hour candle, right? I don't know why my computer's lagging. Sorry. Yeah, we waited for the new 4-hour candle. So if I remove everything again, this was the 6 a.m. candle right here. Sorry. 6 a.m. candle here. We just looked to see if there was nothing. Okay. So realistically, we still have that SMT here within the previous day's high here. Previous day's low, sorry. As you can see, ES was taking out previous day's low, while YM was still holding. We still do have this nice C2 closure here on this 6 a.m. candle right here. And then now I was anticipating 10 o'clock to continue going higher here. So let's look at the 30-minute quickly. We've seen this second sweep right here, right? Which I was looking for. No, there was really nothing here. Yeah, there was really nothing here. I was just looking at a price at this point to see if we're willing to go higher here. Yeah, okay. So we saw this expansion here, right? Once 10 o'clock open, which was this candle right here, we came back into that relevant low here, this specific liquidity area, taking it out one more time. As you can see, it was basically creating relative equal lows. Price came back into it, taking it out, and then we started expanding higher, seeing this V-shaped reversal, right? So I wanted to see, I was waiting for a down close candle to form, which we actually got. I was marking this 5-minute inversion, and I wanted to see price close. Going back on the 3-minute, you see how we were able to close back above it, form a down close candle, and start trading it back higher. I think I market I took the trade while this candle was forming. I think it was because I saw, I think one of them had that change in the state of delivery. No, none of them did, but I had the market open just because I thought price was going to start expanding back to this relevant high here. Stop loss was right there. Entry was right here. And then you can see how I got stopped out just before price hitting that relevant high. Like, imagine that. I was in profit and then boom, getting taken out right there, leaving that failure swing. Incredible, you know? And I think it even missed it too. Look, we just started chopping right after and then going lower, leaving that alone. This was a very tilting day. I was so tempted. Like, I even tried taking this trade right here once we formed again, but I was just trying to chase price. And again, me just assuming that we were going to continue going higher, guys, it was very bad. I was able just to close at BE within this one. But yeah, this was a loss for me for this day, as you can see. Everything was like on point. Again, I guess this bearish candle didn't really show expansion, but sometimes the candle could be deceiving, right? So I was still telling myself that we were not going to leave this failure, this high. At least if we were trying to reverse, it would need I would want to see this targeted, right, before anything. So seeing that, I think it was the hourly. Okay, let's look back. Yeah, it was the hourly that we had a PSP, right? So the PSP with the SMT, that's what gave me the confirmation to look for the expansion higher, right? Which is why once I saw this V-shaped reversal, this was giving me the idea that we were willing to attack this relevant high, but you can clearly see that we failed to do so. All right, so now on to the next day, which is Thursday. Let's just look at the daily candle one more time. Let's just skip forward. I can just skip all of them, whatever. Let's just go through my chart quickly just to... Yes, so Thursday was just... I actually tried trading silver this day, but I realized the lot size was crazy, so there was nothing for me to be taken here. Okay, so Thursday was a good trade. So with Thursday, we had a closure, not the best closure because it was it failed to close back above its previous day's candle or the low, right? So this is an indecision candle. So at this point, you want to see what price does within that candle, Tuesday's candle. You can see how Tuesday we were able to continue going higher. Sorry, not higher. Thursday expanded lower, taking out this specific low, right? Because now we're in the current range within Tuesday's range, right? So now going on to the 4 hour, you can see how Thursday came back. I'm looking at Friday. What? Sorry, I just got myself confused. No, we were looking at Thursday right here at 10 o'clock within this candle. That was my mistake. I was getting confused with Friday. So with 10 o'clock, like I mentioned, with Thursday, this was the range, right? We're anticipating where is price willing to go, this low or this high. So going on to the lower time frame, let's mark our open right here. We had this open candle right here, and we started consolidating, right? Not really doing much here. 6 a.m. candle is what gave the reversal signature as we started to form an SMT here and then expand lower. If we actually look at the current candle, you can see how, right, failure swing on ES, and then same thing with NQ right here. We also formed a 2-stage as well, if you notice that, right here, off this high to this high to that high. So that's a 2-stage reversal. Seeing that expansion makes sense at the 6 a.m. candle. So what can we do to get to this relevant low? Wait for a new hour, a 4-hour candle, if you weren't able to take the trade within within the open, right? I did not take this trade because we were already expanding lower, and personally I wasn't really comfortable. I was waiting for a type of manipulation to happen if we were willing to do that to continue going lower. But again, if I miss that move, then clearly we can start to anticipate a continuation after this relevant if this relevant low is intact still. So I wasn't comfortable with the 9:30 candle here, this candle and this candle, but 10 o'clock gave us that continuation since 9:30, which was not able to take out the relevant low here. So back to this, confirmed reversal right here, right? Notice on the 30-minute we have this nice change in the state of delivery. So with this candle, we actually had an SMT right here with this these consecutive series of down close candles right here. From the 8:30 high, we had an SMT with 9 o'clock. I think there was also a PSP confirmed with this reversal. I think it was with NQ. Yeah, right here. Notice that this was the PSP right here. If you look at this, this was a down close candle, and with NQ it had an up close candle. So seeing that, we wait for the SMT to confirm, which was the 9:30 candle to confirm this first stage of first crack in correlation, which was a PSP. Once we had that SMT confirmed, you can anticipate 10 o'clock to continue going lower. So let's look at the 3-minute quickly. So notice that we have that SMT confirmed. And then where was it? Yeah, I think it was a market open. I actually entered the trade as it was opening, had my SMT right here, and then I continued back to this specific draw right here. I think I was going for just a fixed 2R for this one, but if you noticed, we were able to target this here easily. And then I think I took the whole trade here. I secured a profit, I think somewhere around here. Yeah, I did secure something at it was somewhere around here where I secured. But you can see how the overall trade did play out. Right, once we attacked this relevant low, we started to continue going higher. There was no signature, there was no manipulation signature to show that we were reversing off this. So you can anticipate us to continue going higher. Lower here, back to this next current relevant low here. So that was the idea for YM on Thursday. It was a very good very good trade. Like I said, basing it off the 4 hours specifically, well, on the daily, sorry, telling us that since Wednesday failed to close above its high, previous day's high nor the previous day's low, this is now considered in a range with Tuesday's daily range. So now we can anticipate what Thursday does if we're willing to attack its low first or the high first, right? Based on that 4 hour profile, we had that open, high, low, close signature. You can see that two-stage cracking correlation with the two-stage SMT. Anticipating 6 a.m. to continue, right? C2 closure, C3 continuation on the 10 a.m., which is the hour of the time that we took the trade. Then back on the 30-minute, you can see how structure is respecting the down move, having that change in state of delivery, forming that PSP with NQ, confirming that PSP with the SMT on the 9:30 candle, and then taking the entry at the 10 a.m. open, back to this relevant low, and back to this relevant low, right? So that was it for that Thursday's trade, guys. And then the entry was based on the 3-minute. We were just I entered just as we were closing back below this. I think it was because NQ and ES were able to close it, right? So I took the trade based off that, because both NQ and ES were able to change in the state, and I wanted to see NQ do the same. I think this was the entry right here, to be honest. Yeah, because I entered right at 10 o'clock, so 10 o'clock would have been right here. So that was a change in the state of delivery. Then the SMT at the highs right here. But overall, it was a good trade. Let's just go here onto this. Sorry, guys, a little sloppy. Oh my god. So now going on to Friday. As I said, basically, now that I'm looking at it, we were actually in Monday's range this whole time, right? But you can notice how price came into a discount, taking out this previous day's low, and then continue going higher from here, right? So going on to the 4-hour here, we can mark down the, or is it right here, the opening candle right here. And notice how we were able to take out previous day's low here immediately, and forming a nice C2 closure on the 4-hour, right? Once we started seeing that, we wanted to see how we can anticipate a V-shaped reversal, right? I think there was an SMT within these candles, if I'm correct. No, there was not. So since we don't have that, we just have to base it off structure here, right? This is the 2 a.m. Now we're anticipating the 6 a.m. to continue going higher. Let's look at the hourly quickly. Hourly, you can see that we had that nice change in state of delivery right here. We started to fail the inversion. That was right here. And we started to actually close above its actual change in state of delivery, the one that did the manipulation off this low. You could see how price is now disrespecting, right? We're getting that V-shaped reversal, right? And we're basing it off structure, right? Because structure is now respecting these down close candles, right? And it's not willing to continue going lower back to the ERL, right? So all these were telling me that we were willing to go higher here, and seeing how YM was the strength leader, and we had all this clear liquidity to the upside. That's the reason why I wanted to trade YM. On the hourly here, you could see how we expanded at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Consolidated, and then 8 a.m. was forming a SMT fill with ES and NQ. NQ and ES filled the inefficiency while YM didn't. Then going on to the 30-minute, we were able to close above this consecutive series of down close candles right here. That nice order block, and I took this trade right here at the close of this 9 a.m. candle, so anticipating 9:30 for that news driver, well, not news driver, but just the driver to expand, right? I think there was a PSP, there was, as you can see, so that was the two-stage reversal signature on YM, the SMT, right, and then the PSP is what confirmed the reversal signature. And then entry was taken right here. Oops. Stop loss was taken right at these lows, and then going for a nice 2R right here. I could have easily took it out from the to the highs here, guys, but I was happy. I was a little traumatized of like what happened with NQ. I mean with YM on Wednesday. Look at that, just leaving that just a couple of ticks, and just reversing. So I wanted to secure my profits, guys, for Friday. But overall, this could have been a nice, easy 3R trade. I was happy with the profits on Friday and into Friday, guys. Be happy. End of the week, you know. If you can make anything on a Friday, then you should be more than grateful. And that's it, guys. That was it for this week's recap. Overall, a good week. Let me just give me a second here. So if you can, I'll just show you the chart here that I'm not bullshitting. These were the trades taken right here, as you can see, right? Nothing too fancy, but again, it's not about the money for me. It's about the process, right? It's about me doing this every single day, and then eventually the money will come, and then it'll start to grow, the money, right? The money will continue to grow as I start getting better with my consistency of what I want to see every single day, and that's all that matters to me, is my consistency. It's not the money, because the money is just a tool, right? It's just it's a materialistic thing. I don't really care. It's just about the whole process of it and me getting better and better every single day. Mind the 6 trades. This is like me just being stupid. But overall, great week. Great start to the first week of February. So let's see how price action can now do for the next remaining weeks. But overall, guys, that is it for this week. Hopefully you guys found this video very helpful. And if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to message me on just YouTube, or leave a comment on below, or you can message me on Instagram or anything. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. It helps a lot, and then just gives me the confidence and the courage to continue going and to help everyone else that's watching these videos. Overall, have a good weekend, guys. Take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you guys on Monday.